The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. It's time for the Low Fact Podcast. All right, hey everybody.
What's up?
It's kind of funny. I was talking to them, and they're going to think that I was talking to you.
I'm everybody. Me, myself, and I.
Oh, so you're freaking Tom Hanks and Jimmy Stewart all rolled into one, huh?
I didn't get it.
They're the everyman characters.
All right. Yeah, I see. Your intellect is just vastly superior to mine.
Well, this is true, but
I don't really mean that.
still doesn't make that statement any less true.
So, what cunts are we talking about this week?
Oh, they're all cunts anyway. But I just saw something during the week where it said, according to some poll of millennials, like 30% of them identify as LGBTQ and whatever other letters there are, which I didn't know, but which was very surprising.
30%?
Yeah. And then a full-on 50% think that socialism is better than capitalism.
Wow. I guess I've never lived under socialism then.
I don't
think they know what socialism is.
They don't. But I don't subscribe to the idea that you need to live like a dog to know what a dog's life is like.
But see, they're not thinking, when they're thinking of socialism, they're thinking of like some kind of like capitalistic system where everybody is like kumbaya and kind of takes care of each other.
Maybe. I think they're thinking like the intellectuals during the intellectual Bolsheviks, who thought it would be so great to throw off the Tsar and live under this ideal of being communism where free speech reigned and all this junk was great.
That's a nice idea.
The true believers, I think, believe that. But the ones that are disingenuous about it, the ones that are wanting the power,
mm-hmm.
the ones that the head of the movement,
right?
They're just wanting more power. Or they're just wanting power, period.
But it's got to be through education, right? That they've been taught that socialism is something really neat.
I think education.
Or do you not know?
I think education and life experience.
Because people use like Bernie Sanders uses the expression democratic socialism. What is democratic socialism? Please explain.
It's like calling an unborn baby a fetus.
It's a lie.
Well, no, it's not a lie. It's just making it sound better. Preborn.
Because democratic socialism, it seems like those two things don't really belong in the same phrase or definition.
Well, they definitely don't, and I really don't want to. I don't want to keep on talking about it if we're going to say the same stuff as everybody else does.
Okay.
Like communism discourages basic human desires, or doesn't take into account human desires, or
Well, people are going to have human desires.
You're not. You missed the point.
Okay.
Right. The big argument against communism is that it's a disincentive to act like a human. Right. It's a disincentive to stand out, because if you're going to get paid no matter what, whether you're like a shitty cobbler or the best cobbler on earth, you're still going to get paid the same wages and get the same rights. And they're just like, well, why bother?
So just do an okay job, or not even.
Well, okay enough not to get fired, but that's one of the big arguments against it. And I don't want to go into, I just don't want to rehash, right? I don't want to say the same things that everybody's been saying for the last, 50, 60 years.
Well, then you just sound like a schmuck, too. Because those guys, they say all this stuff, but then I don't know that they're doing anything about it.
That is more interesting to me. What are you going to do about it?
Nothing, man.
Well, then Ned, or Ned's dad, then,
I don't think people are doing shit about it.
I think people should start.
I mean, I keep thinking of my countrymen, right? I don't know if New Zealand's still in lockdown, but it might be.
You're an American now. Your countrymen are here.
Okay. But New Zealand, there's still a lockdown. There's all sorts of craziness going on. The economy is like dying before people's eyes, and yet people are still fucking kowtowing to what the government's telling them.
Which I think is stupid.
So...
But, I'm more interested in the people here, and I hope that we don't start doing stupid stuff. And it's already started, because when I saw that thing about 30% identify as LGBTQ and whatever other letters there are.
That seems made up to me, that statistic.
I just couldn't help thinking that what was called the counterculture back in the 60s are now in power. They're the mainstream. And I think, I don't know that it's made up, but I do think that there's a big part of that is herd mentality of humans.
Okay.
It's not good to be outstanding.
But what does that have to do with LGBT?
It's not good to be the black sheep.
Okay. And now it's like accepted.
It's outside. Accepted. It's outside accepted. I remember you saying, "Oh, it's not the mainstream." I mean, nobody people who have those kids don't want their kids to be gay.
They'll just accept it. They'll say, "Well, that's my kid's choice," but they're probably not going to be necessarily happy about it. They're not going to be happy about it.
Well, I could say the same thing about people's kids who decide to be in a religion, to be a pastor or a priest.
Yeah.
I don't think there are a lot of people that are happy about their kids wanting to be priests.
Yeah.
From a parental standpoint, which is what you were talking about, because that's a tough life.
But you don't think that's the case? You think that, like, basically it's accepted now? When you say it's mainstream.
How many TV shows, movies, or whatever have you seen with at least one gay character in it?
A lot.
All of them in my book.
Well, it's not all of them, but...
There's a gay person.
A lot.
There's a gay person in basically every
even
show.
If they don't say they're gay?
There's a gay character in every show.
Not in every movie.
Yeah.
Hallmark.
There was a Hallmark movie not last year.
Yeah, that's new.
And funnily enough, that's
new.
That inspired a new network or an old network to start making movies.
That's like a lot more like African Americans and stuff in those movies, because they used to be all just it was like vanilla, right? The Hallmark movies.
Well, now it's getting a little bit more like contrived.
Well, it's multicultural. Dave.
Contrived? Is it contrived? It's ginned up. The integration is ginned up.
Contrived is the right word.
Now, this is not some kind of commentary on homosexuals, if that's what you think.
And anyone who's seen Dave hanging out at clubs with homosexuals would know that that's the case.
Because
boy, have I got some stories for you guys.
Hey, you can tell them. I'm not ashamed. I'm not gay, but
the guys love you, Dave.
I'm not gay, but I don't hate on them either. But I don't know that homosexuality is as prevalent as people in entertainment would like you to think it is.
Well, no, it's not.
But at the same token, I don't think you should hate on them.
But by virtue of there being gays in all this stuff we're watching, I don't think do you think it makes more people gay?
It makes more people accepting of it.
Right. Well, actually, no. Well, people would say you're not born gay. Well, no, they would say you're either gay or you're not.
Well, they're...
Right, so like watching something on a TV show shouldn't make a difference.
People that are gay and the gay lobby especially, but people that are gay would love for science to find the gay gene.
Right.
Like, hey, this is what makes you gay. Because at that point, then, argument over. I can't help it.
Right.
Just like you can't help being born black, a male, or white, or whatever. And I see that as kind of like a weird thing in and of itself. I'm like, why you gotta hate on somebody for being gay?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's not like you're going to catch it.
Right. Like
Right?
someone that would like beat up somebody like that, I'm like, what is your problem?
It's not like the coronavirus. You can't catch gay.
Exactly.
And all the gay people I've ever met, great people.
Yep.
They don't try to turn me gay. I don't try to turn them straight. Great. Have a beer.
I don't like it when I get hit on though. Like just to kind of like, well, not real getting hit on, but like
When they flirt with you?
yeah, and they know I'm straight, right? And they're flirting because they know that like they're kind of having some fun.
Why don't you flirt back? I do.
See, no, I'm just like don't.
I guess you
I'm
get
like don't flirt with me, like you know it's not making like I'm not comfortable.
you get hit on
this
way
point.
way more than I do because
No, I don't know that that's true.
I don't mean by gay people, but just by women in general. Because you know, maybe that's why I don't mind getting hit on by gay people. I get so little traffic as it
I know.
is.
I've seen you like go with the flow, and it's just like
I've tried to convince gay people that I'm gay, and they were having it. They're like, "Nah, you're not gay." Like, how do you know?
So, but anyway, so your point is like, so 30% and 50% think socialism's good. 50%?
Something like 50,
One half.
something like that. And I think that part of it is more of an indication of what life has been like. Like, it hasn't been particularly hard because these aren't people that are like bums that are thinking socialism good. These are people that have gone to college, that are trying to get a job. They're seeing the effort that they need to put forth, and things are just not as easy for them as they think it should be. Like me, like I think I should be just rolling in it.
The grand poobah of Poobahville.
Exactly. And the poos don't even want me to join. They won't even call me a poobah.
Yeah, you can't get ahead in Pooville.
So I can understand that sentiment from that standpoint. I don't think that they really want a socialist regime going on. They just think it's got to,
But I mean, they must be getting a feel for it now, though. Like, if you're here in California, you can have a feel for what it feels like. Like, shit not on the shelves, fucking gas prices going through the roof, not being able to get exactly what you want. I mean, this is it, bro. This is like a little snapshot, a little feel for what it would be like.
But it's easy to have a counter argument to that. No, it's not, because we're still in a capitalist structure. We haven't gone full tilt, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that.
So what do they think's going to happen? It's just going to, like, the pendulum's going to swing, and then America is just going to embrace socialism, and then everything's going to be great.
If they think that, then their education has been a waste. Because,
well, I think the education might have been a waste.
Because historically speaking, that it don't happen that way.
Sorry about the chips, by the way, guys. I'm eating.
I just found those poll things kind of interesting, just because I thought they were interesting. I don't think
it just shows how I don't know, man. It's just weird.
I'm not sitting here saying things got to change when I do this, because I'm really in no position to tell someone else how to live their life. But on the same token, they're in no position to tell me how to live mine. And I like things that way.
But there's the rub, right? Is that they absolutely want to tell you how to live your life.
Well, in that case, they're going to get about 200 pounds of angry Korean in their face.
I wouldn't want that. I don't think you're 200 pounds.
I'm not, but it sounds better, right?
200 pounds does sound better. How about 200 pounds of angry Kiwi?
That
220 pounds of angry Kiwi.
That could still be intimidating, right? I mean,
I don't even know what cry a Kiwi makes.
I don't know. You can make up one, but
I'm gonna have to Google it.
But a 200-pound flightless bird coming at you, that's going to be a little intimidating.
With a giant beak. The Kiwi is a strange-looking but beautiful creature.
You are high.
I'm not high. That's the funny part about it. I wish I was high.
Oh, that's another thing, right? Getting high is now accepted.
Which I'm all for.
I'm fine with it, too. It just makes me throw up like you wouldn't believe, so I'm not going to do it.
Wow, you have some kind of a genetic predisposition to a genetic, what's the word?
But that's the whole point. This whole idea of us trying to tell other people what to do really gets on my nerves.
I get it, man. And every time you start, like, I started a conversation, which I regretted, about mask mandates with an idiot, right? And I was like, why am I doing this? Like,
because you want to?
It always ends up the same way. Because you know what her fucking theory was on masks?
What is that?
Oh, we should just mandate vaccinations for everybody. And then once everybody's vaccinated, we can all not wear a mask. That was her fucking, like, line of reasoning.
So...
I was just like, my God.
Did you talk to her about why that line of reasoning is so dangerous?
No, because
that's where you got to take it. You can't talk about the thing you're talking about. When someone says, "Oh, we should make this compulsory," then you're like, "Okay, well, should we make going to church compulsory? How about joining the military? Should that be compulsory?"
No and no.
How about doing a year's worth of missionary work or missionary type work? Should that be compulsory?
No. And the answer is going to be no.
Right. And the only counter argument to that would be like, well, it's not the same. How is it not the same? We're not talking about individuals, you and me, on a desert island. We're talking about countries, societies that have decided that countries, we not decided, but people who have been able to garner power at a certain level, and they want to hold on to that power. So anytime you give any group in a bureaucracy any power, that power has been ceded. You're never getting that back.
Oh, and by the way, the icing on the cake is that she was wearing her mask as a chin diaper at this point.
So she's doing it wrong.
She had the mask like under her chin.
Right.
So she was showing her whole face.
So she's doing it wrong.
Right. I was like, you're. But at that point, I was like, I'm not even going to engage.
You've already engaged. If someone says that, you'd be like, well, that might have some very serious unintended consequences, and walk away.
Yeah. And then they'll be like, oh, I wonder what that means.
Or that guy's stupid.
Crazy.
Yeah. But I hate, and I do, there are a few things that I hate. And one of the things that I hate is bureaucracy in all of its forms. Yes, it has gotten us great strides. Without bureaucracy, I don't think that I could live the life that I live. But bureaucracy, government, all that stuff needs to be. I look at that stuff like a campfire. It has to, you have to have it starved of any kind of fuel. It only has to be. You only have to give it enough for it to just kind of give you warmth, and that's it.
That's a pretty good analogy.
But, if I were Nancy Pelosi, of course I'd be sitting there saying, no, you need to give more power to the government because you need to give me the tools to help make you live a better life or make it better for you. And that really goes against my fundamental philosophy in life. You cannot help me live my life better. You can't look after my interests better than I can look after my own.
How does that horrible woman survive?
Well, I think that the only actual answer to that is because God lets it.
But why?
I don't know that I really care about the why.
I do.
Okay, so what are you going to do when you get the why? If you can understand why someone acts the way they act.
Well, maybe then I would accept things better if I understood the why.
Okay, if someone were torturing you and they told you why, would you then be able to say, okay, well, put another weight on that. Hit me one more time with that whip.
Yeah. Oh, that's a stupid analogy. But
why? Why is that a stupid analogy? Because it correctly bowls over your very
extreme analogies.
That's not extreme. That's not an extreme analogy.
I would just like to see God smiting a few people.
It would be very emotionally satisfying.
Yes.
But on the same token,
some Old Testament shit.
But you're automatically assuming that you're not one of the people that are going to get smote.
I am.
See, the only reason why on a lot of occasions I'm like, no. We don't need to have worldwide suffering, because I'm not so sure that I'm not going to be one of those people suffering. That's the only reason. But the more I have to deal with the stuff that I have to deal with, I'm like, you know what? I might be willing to go through some pain to see someone else go through more pain.
That's just like, I don't even know what to call that.
Well, some people call it
That's like I don't have that attitude.
Well, I've heard some people. I had a conversation with a guy a long time ago, kind of going off on the Irish, because he was ethnically Irish. He was like, Irish people are so fucking stupid. They will sit there and go through hell. They will suffer just to make someone else suffer, instead of like having everything good for both of them.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's familiar. In New Zealand, it's called tall poppy syndrome.
Yeah, well, everybody's got that.
Cut off the guy that puts their head up and tries to do something different.
That's
the herd mentality.
That's that. Every culture kind of has that, and yeah, it does discourage.
Or are you trying to make us all look bad?
That I guess it comes from that mentality, but from the standpoint of the person that's trying to do better, has nothing to do with everybody else.
But that's the way it should be looked at. But it's, I don't know, man.
Right? If I'm trying to be outstanding, I'm not trying to make you look bad. I'm trying to look good.
And then if you say that, they'll be like, sure, you fucking cunt.
Oh, well, they would,
Nah, man, you're trying to make me look bad.
Well, that's a stupid thought.
Or you're making me look bad.
Then do better, right?
I think people are just cruel. People can just be, I don't know if it's cruel or stupid and cruel.
Well, both, but it really comes out of a self-centeredness that's just kind of astounding.
Which comes back to your whole worship thing.
Yeah.
We're thinking that we're deities.
I think a lot of us do.
Other thing is people love to gossip. That's the other thing. They love to talk shit about other people.
I like to gossip, but I don't like that kind of gossip. Maybe I don't even know what gossip is.
Gossip is talking shit about other people.
Oh, I'm not in for that.
Yeah, that's what I would say my definition of gossip is anyway.
If that's the definition,
mostly like 95% of gossip is that.
If that's the gossip we're going for, then I'm not in for that. I don't want to talk shit about other people.
Like, did you hear about such and such and what they fucking did? Oh my goodness, what a moron!
If I've been telling people that person was a moron for a long time and nobody believed me,
yeah,
then yeah, like here's proof.
Right.
Here's proof why that person's a moron.
Yeah. I think gossip is probably pretty bad.
Well, it keeps people in line.
In Buddhism, it's right up there with fucking murder and lying and things. Like gossip and slander.
All religions.
Yeah. But yet everybody gossips.
Well, people break the law.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
This whole thought that everybody can be good, which I have problems with, is based on is another thing. Like, people are good. Like, people are not good. People can do good things, could do good deeds. People can do evil deeds. I don't think it makes them one thing or another. I've never met anybody who's consistently, one thing or the other. I consider myself a very honest person, and I am. But there'll be times where dishonesty comes in.
That's always an interesting one. I feel like if everybody is being dishonest, then you kind of say to yourself, well, everybody's doing it.
Well, that's what's coming about now. See, society depended on most people not doing the bad stuff, not being corrupt, not doing the bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it can still go along with some people doing the bad stuff, and the people in power positions and leadership positions, they do the bad stuff because they can. Well, if those people start doing bad stuff, everybody else will be like, well, fuck, they're doing it. Why not me? And then you have the breakdown of everything. Like everything that's going on now, I think is a reflection of that. Because everybody knows what the right thing to do, and everybody says to do right thing. Should you cheat on your wife? No. That's horrible. But if some skank stands in front of you, buck naked, be like, oh, take me now. I don't know how many people are going to be like, okay, I'm going to walk away from this.
Or even a better example would be if you're somebody famous and it's 1,000 women.
I don't know that that's a better example.
I don't know. I just feel like it's like more opportunity.
Yeah.
It's like that Bill Burr bit where he talks about.
But isn't that just a cop out right there? Oh, I could do it if it were one ugly woman. But if it's hundreds of hot women, then no, there's no way. And to that,
that's not the bit.
It's not the bit, but that's kind of where I take that example. And my response to that is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He's just busy.
No. Who do you have an affair with?
His nanny.
The housekeeper.
The housekeeper, yeah.
Now, I'm not attracted one bit to Maria Shriver. But by all accounts, I would think Maria Shriver is a better catch than the housekeeper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he impregnated the housekeeper.
That kid looks a lot like him, too.
He looks more like him than his other kids. His other kids look like a bunch of weaklings.
Yeah.
But that's my point, right? I mean, everybody knows, no, you shouldn't cheat on your wife. But if the opportunity comes up, who's going to sit there and say no? Seems like not many people. When I was younger, I used to think the whole idea about crime was stupid. The police premise that in order for a crime to be committed, all you really need is motive and opportunity. And I'm just sitting there going, well, that's stupid. Why would you sit there and commit any kind of crime? And all it really takes is an opportunity, and you'd be like, oh, okay. But as I got older, as I got tempted with women, I'm like, okay, I get it. So, and then the response to that is like, oh, but there's so many women throwing themselves at me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, Arnold, there's so many women throwing themselves at you, and you decide to pick the one that no one would think you'd go for? I don't want to call out Schwarzenegger here because I can't sit there and say if I was in his position, I'd be any different.
Well, he's a busy man.
Not at this point in his life.
No, but when it was happening, he was a busy man. It was probably like he just went for whatever was like easy and in front of him.
Well, that doesn't paint a very good picture.
That's the truth, though.
So all this stuff that I've been saying before about people is pretty much ringing true now, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know what else I got. I mean, that was all I really had.
I'm just curious to know why it's. I keep coming back to the whole 50% thing, man. Like that's like astonishing to me.
Well,
if it's true.
Like I said, my initial reaction to that is because there are these kids who've been told all their lives about how you can accomplish all these things, put your mind to it, work hard, blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. They do it.
And then nothing happens.
Yeah. I can see how you'd sit there and say, well, you know what? This is bullshit. You can't talk about life like it's math. You can't put in a measure or two of hard work and then it equal into success. Chances are you'll probably get it.
That's kind of what we're taught, though.
Yeah, and it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Does that mean you shouldn't work hard? Hell no. But, and the response to that is, well, you can't always get that. Not everybody's going to succeed and all that. It's really funny how when you don't succeed at something, but you still want something to happen, it's real easy to kind of throw off examples of it not happening. If you study hard in school and you get a good job or you become licensed as a professional, chances are you're going to make decent money. Mm-hmm. But not everybody does.
Yeah.
There are plenty of doctors that aren't working.
But that comes down to the whole attitude of people thinking they deserve stuff, though. I think.
Good.
It's like, oh, well, I deserve this, right? Because I worked hard or I did this.
Well, yeah, because
it's like the whole deserves thing is slippery. It's a slippery slope, Dave.
I don't think it's necessarily a slippery slope. It's you're trying to have like a mathematical thing to it, right?
But you don't deserve anything.
Well, that's my point.
Which brings me to my final question that I was going to ask you, which I just remembered. do we just if everything goes to hell in a handbasket, right? We could, in terms of the negative, one could say that we deserve it.
Sure.
Society deserves it.
If you're a deserves kind of person, yeah.
But that deserves only works one way, right?
Well, that's just like judgment, right? Opinions.
It's like one way. Like, I deserve good stuff, but I don't deserve any of this bad stuff that's happening to me.
That's bullshit. That you can't pick and choose. You can, but
Absolutely, people pick and choose though.
And that again is,
we deserve the good. We don't deserve the bad.
You deserve whatever. If you think you deserve the good, then you have to deserve the bad. I mean, that's a transitive property. At that point, life isn't like math. And you're like, no.
So I think we just need to get away from deserves then.
Isn't that what I've been saying for decades?
You've said it to me a few times. I've written it down. It's not about deserves was I think the mantra that you suggested.
And it's true. I don't think anybody deserves anything, whether it be good or bad.
Because when you think about it, if we really deserved what we were given, well, what if you're a frickin' dropkick?
Well, you've already there's
like all of it, like
there's already a personification of that. Hunter Biden.
That guy's a train wreck.
The Prince of Wales. The Queen of England.
Prince Harry.
The Duke of whatever it is. The Duke of Sussyfuss or
what a moron.
Duke Fancy Pants. Yeah, they don't deserve that. Just like you don't deserve to be a human sacrifice.
Well, what made you think about that?
I thought about the Inca mummies.
All right. Were those guys human sacrifices?
Those little kids, yeah.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
That's just, the Incas just seemed like they were brutal.
They were from very aristocratic families in the Inca culture.
Uh-huh.
And they gave one of their kids to the empire to essentially die on a mountain.
That's horrible.
Or the people in the peat bogs.
In the what?
In the peat bogs all over northern Europe.
Oh, they
Celtic
were sacrifices too.
The Celtic, yeah.
Yeah, I always forget that the Celts were into the human sacrifice.
I mean...
That's probably why the stone circles feel like such awful, eerie places to me.
But, you definitely you can definitely do some deeds in which I think you get what you deserve. If you're a criminal that goes out and, steals and kills and you come to a violent end, I have no qualms about saying you deserve that.
I like that idea.
If you work super hard and a dash of luck comes in and you get a ton of money out of it, I'd say you deserve it. But so does everybody else that works hard.
Yeah.
Those violent ends, all the people that do that, they deserve that kind of end. For their misdeeds or their good deeds. But I don't think that, but that's just me searching for a reason. I think like a lot of people, I have a very clear sense of justice.
So you don't think there's divine justice then?
What do you mean I don't think there's divine justice?
Because if there was divine justice, then people would get what they deserve, right? Like more often than not. Or maybe they do.
Why wouldn't I believe in divine justice? I just don't think that it's perfect in every situation because there's also divine grace.
Okay. I got nothing to answer to that.
I've driven while very drowsy and have not died.
Yeah.
Driven
whilst asleep.
That's the same thing. That is some divine grace right there.
Yeah.
My life situation now, that's some divine grace. Although there's tons of stuff that I wish I had more of. The situation I'm in is more than I could ever ask for. No outsider would say that I deserve to live the life that I'm living.
You mean they would say you deserve less?
Sure.
But you think you deserve more?
Well, everybody thinks they deserve more, but if someone knew my life history and saw the way I was living, they'd be like, why are you complaining?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I get to that point daily. I'm like, why am I complaining?
Well, there you have it.
That's enough for the day. It's time for some food.
Yes. Pork.